Hi class, in this video I am going to go over the syllabus and I am also going to introduce you to the course by showing you how to navigate it. So we're going to get started by looking at the front page. So here you can go ahead and see what the front page looks like. And at the very bottom you will find my contact information in terms of my email. So the best way to contact me is through email, but you can also contact me through Canvas inbox. And I'm pretty quick to reply. However, I do have office hours Monday through Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Now, I know that that might not work for everyone, so if these hours do not work for you, but you want to go ahead and meet with me, we can definitely go ahead and schedule a different time or a different date. So just go ahead and email me and let me know what your availability is, and then we can go ahead and meet. Since DACC is in phase 1 of reopening, I was going to say not many people are allowed on campus, but actually pretty much no one is allowed on campus. So all my office hours are going to be done through Zoom. So if you just click here during this time, Monday through Wednesday, 12 to 2, you should be able to find me. Now, this is the first time that I am doing office hours completely on Zoom, so hopefully this link works. In the case that it's not working or something like that, just go ahead and email me and I will try to fix it as soon as possible. And also, if I am canceling office hours on a specific date, then I will post it under announcements just so that you know ahead of time. So the other thing that you will find down here is you will find the syllabus. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And if you want to download the syllabus, all you have to do is click on syllabus and you will go ahead and download it. But for right now, we are just going to preview the syllabus. Now, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is that this is an English 211 class. It is 3 credits and the subtitle is the border experience. So basically this class deals with the US-Mexico border, and it also is going to focus on nonfiction, fiction, poetry, readings that discuss what life is like on the border. I was actually born and raised along the border. I was born in El Paso and raised in Solon Park, which those of you who know this area, it's probably about 10 to 15 minutes from Mexico. So I personally I still love living on the border. I think it's a very unique place. However, I do think that it is very complex and there are a lot of harsh realities on the border. So we are going to address that, as well as the culture and what it's like living on the border, and also some of the history. So hopefully you find the class interesting. I know that there's a lot of different ways to approach this specific topic, so I hope that you do find it interesting. This is sort of something, as someone who grew up along the border her entire life, I kind of try to focus on a lot of different areas like culture, history, music, art, just to sort of give like a little bit of glimpse of what life is like on the border. So that was my take on this class. Moving on, of course, the prerequisite for this class is English 111. So if you completed English 111 with a C or better, then you are definitely eligible to take this course. Now, we do write our essays using APA style, and I also teach English 111, so I do know that most people teach APA. Because you're expected to have learned it in English 111, the 200 level classes don't really go into depth into APA, but I do have an APA module that is pretty thorough because that's the same module that I use for my English 111 classes. So if that module is not enough and your APA is a little bit rusty and you need more help, then you can always go ahead and ask me, or I can refer you to the tutoring center. That way you can make sure that your essays are formatted and your sources are documented according to APA style. So moving on, when it comes to textbooks, we don't need a textbook because all the course readings are available on Canvas. Here we have the student learning outcomes. A lot of this information you can go ahead and read on your own. I am just going over some of the important information. The method of instruction is completely online, so we do not have any scheduled class meetings. So don't think that we're going to be meeting every week at a specific time. No, the class is completely online. There are due dates, but of course it's kind of like self-paced. So you do have to make sure that you meet the deadlines. I don't foresee us having any Zoom meetings. However, we might. For example, if people are having a hard time with the editorial essay or with the research project, I might go ahead and schedule a Zoom meeting, but of course those are not mandatory because I know that right now everybody's schedule is all over the place, and I know that some of you have kids or siblings that you're helping to homeschool. So because of that, we're not having mandatory Zoom meetings at a specific time or anything like that. So when it comes to the assignments, most of it is analytical writing, but we also have some persuasive writing. So here are the assignments. Attendance is worth 15 points. And then we also have discussion posts. These are, well, we have 5 discussions at 20 points, which equals 100 points. And then our first discussion is the introduction post, where you basically introduce yourself, and that is worth 10 points. We also have 10 reader responses. Each one is worth 10 points, so that totals 100 points. And then we have about 5 to 6 quizzes, which total 40 points. So our first essay is going to be a profile essay that focuses on a place along the border. So I know that right now, because of the pandemic, we cannot necessarily visit a lot of these places. So for this essay, you can go ahead and pick a place that you are very familiar with. Like, for example, if you would go to the McGoffin home a lot in El Paso and you're pretty familiar with that, you can go ahead and write about that. However, if you're not familiar with the border area at all, your best bet is going to be to Google a specific location. Like, for example, you can Google the Plaza Theater and you can look up pictures and you can do research on it. That way you can write the profile essay on that specific place. Because the profile essay, what it is, it describes the place so that people can picture it, and it also paints that place in a specific light, so to speak. So there are specific instructions for each assignment, so you can go ahead and look at that. And of course, when the time comes to do the profile, we will talk a little bit more about it. The second essay is an editorial, which basically means that you're going to be building an argument around a newspaper article, and the newspaper article should be about a border issue that is currently affecting the border. And when I say border, I'm not only focusing on the El Paso Juarez border, I'm focusing on the entire US-Mexico border. So your editorial can be on a topic, on an issue that is currently affecting the San Diego-Tijuana border, or that's affecting Laredo or Brownsville or any place along the border. And then our last and final project is a research paper, which is over here. And basically for this one, what you're going to do is you're going to expand on that topic that you wrote about for the editorial essay. Obviously, you don't have to. You can choose another topic, but what you're basically going to do is you're going to do research on it and write 5 to 7 pages on that topic. So moving back here, we do have discussion questions, not every week, but on specific weeks. And basically there's going to be 5 discussion questions, and they are all due on Saturdays. However, your first post, which is the post that is replying to me, the original discussion question, should be submitted by Thursday. And the reason I do this is because sometimes there are people who are trying to finish their discussion assignment by Friday, but nobody has posted anything. So, or they're even trying to finish it up on Wednesday, but nobody has posted anything, because sometimes I have students who post both of their responses, 3 of their responses, sorry, I should say. They post all of them Saturday night right before it's due. So to avoid that, your first post is due by Thursday, and then you have until Saturday to respond to 2 other classmates. So basically with the discussions, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your discussion post is well developed, that you cover all of the questions that I ask, and then when you are replying to your 2 classmates, you want to make sure that they are 2 separate responses, and you want to make sure that you don't just say, I agree with you or I disagree with you. Go ahead and expand on that a little bit. And speaking of that, it is okay to disagree. However, you want to make sure that you're respectful about it. And you also want to make sure that you are open-minded about what other people are saying and different viewpoints. I can tell you that, especially recently dealing with topics about the border, sometimes I have had students who get a little bit offended because they think that some of the readings can come off as anti-American. But you have to keep in mind that some of these people, this is their perspective and this is how they feel. As U.S. citizens who were born on the border, sometimes they feel like they're, marginalized. So it's important to keep in mind that people are allowed to feel the way that they feel, and it's okay to disagree with that. But like I said, whenever it comes to border issues, sometimes it does get political and race is brought in. So I understand that that's the nature of border issues, but you just want to make sure that you are respectful and that you are considerate of other people. So obviously avoid making generalizations and avoid making accusatory remarks and things like that. And of course, make sure that the discussion posts are relevant to the question and to the course topic. We also have quizzes, and the quizzes are only allowed to be taken once. So make sure that you have read the material before you start your quiz, and also keep in mind that quizzes are due on Saturdays. And these quizzes are very short. I do not think they're particularly challenging. They are just meant to make sure that you are reading, and I basically ask questions. I ask questions that deal with the important stuff. So like, for example, if there's an important detail that I think you should pay attention to, there will probably be a question around that detail. So I already talked a little bit more. I already talked about the research paper, and of course, like I said, the research paper, the profile essay, and the editorial, they all have their own assignment pages, so you can go ahead and look at that. And of course, make sure that all of the work you submit is your own. I do use the Turnitin software, which scans your paper and lets you know what percentage is plagiarized. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. So moving on, going back to classroom management, like I said, this is a Canvas course, which means that it's completely online. So make sure that you have reliable internet and you have a reliable computer. Unfortunately, I cannot excuse missing work or late assignments just because your Wi-Fi was not working or your computer was not working. I understand that these things happen. Sometimes our internet goes out for the entire day. Obviously, if this is the case, if your internet goes out on Sunday and we have an assignment due, obviously you can maybe try to email me through your phone and let me know about the situation. But for the most part, you should try to have reliable computer and Wi-Fi. And I believe that DECC is having some hotspots where you can go to the parking lot and you can use their Wi-Fi there. Moving on, when it comes to attendance and late work policy, physical attendance for this class is mandatory, and basically what that means is that you log in and you submit assignments. Sometimes people think I'm just going to log in but not submit anything. That does not count as physical attendance or participation. In order to be physically in class, that means that you're submitting assignments and discussion posts and you're active. That's what we mean by physical attendance. When it comes to late work, I don't allow late work, and the reason for that is because it becomes a habit, and honestly, it throws off my whole grading schedule. So the assignment closes when it is due. So for example, the writing exercises, they close every Sunday at 11:59 p.m. whenever we have one due. The discussions, they close on Saturdays at 11:59 p.m. The quizzes close on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. The assignment does not stay open after that. So after 11:59 p.m., it'll close and it will not allow any more submissions. So please keep that in mind. Now, however, I am a very understanding person and I am also very flexible. So if there is a serious issue that is preventing you from submitting work, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can try to address it. However, if you miss an assignment, don't just email it to me. Make sure that you email me first. Tell me the reason why you missed it, and then maybe we can work something out. Because I might tell you, I'll open up the assignment for you so you can submit it on Canvas. Or I might tell you, email it to me as a file attachment. So because of that, don't just email me work that you missed. Make sure that you email me first and we talk about it. And like I said, I know that right now a lot of things are going on, but you do have to keep in mind that I have to follow DACC policy. And, you know, when it comes to DACC and financial aid, you are expected to spend about 2 to 3 hours per credit hour working outside of the classroom. So if you think about it, this class is 3 credits, which means that you are supposed to spend anything from 6 to 9 hours doing homework for this class. Now, I know that's not always the case, but that's the expectation, that this class is about 6 to 9 hours of homework time. So because of that, I cannot allow you to miss work for multiple weeks, because then that means that you are not putting in those hours weekly, and then I'm not, and then I get in trouble because I'm not following DACC policy, and you get in trouble because you're not following DACC policy. So because of that, just keep in mind that, I am understanding, but there's only so much work that I can allow to be submitted late. Even if you are going through a very serious situation, there is only so much that I can allow to be turned in late. But like I said, please make sure that you talk to me if you need to submit something late. If it's within reason, I can go ahead and work with you. But please let me know sooner than later, because sometimes I have people who miss like 10 assignments and they email me the day before the last day of the semester and they want to make it up, and I say, sorry, we ran out of time. You should have emailed me sooner. And even though I don't accept late work, I do offer a lot of extra credit opportunities. Right now, the only extra credit we have is workshops via Zoom. So if you attend a workshop via Zoom, you get 5 points extra credit. If you write a summary, you get 10 points extra credit. And also, you can go ahead and submit your profile essay, your editorial, or your research paper to the Academic Readiness Tutoring Center and have a tutor review it. And then you can go ahead and fill out the summary of tutoring form, and you get 5 points extra credit on the essay. So basically, if you had an 85, the extra credit bumps you up to a 90. If you attend Zoom workshops, those are added to your overall grade, not just to the essay. So it's something to keep in mind if you do miss assignments. I do offer extra credit. However, we never know how many Zoom workshops they are going to have. So I always suggest to make sure you submit your work on time and do your best, and then use extra credit kind of like as a safety net. Okay, so moving on, courtesy, I already talked about this, but in an online class, you want to make sure that you are respectful and that you are aware of what you're posting. So please don't post anything personal or inappropriate. Also, I do talk a little bit about the readings, language. Some of them use Spanish words, and, if you don't speak Spanish, that's fine. You can still go ahead and understand the reading. But if you ever run into any trouble understanding some of the Spanish words, you can just email me and I can go ahead and translate them for you, and I can go ahead and explain them to you as well. Like I said, everything is obviously written in English, but sometimes they do throw in a Spanish word here or there. So if you have trouble understanding that, I will be more than glad to translate it for you. So here we have the important dates, and then we have our tentative schedule. So basically how I divided this up, I divided it up into 3 columns, which is the date, what you're supposed to read for the week, and the assignments that are due for that week. So For this first week, you're supposed to go over the syllabus and the course introduction module, and then we have quiz 1 and the introductions discussion. Now, keep in mind that typically quizzes are due on Saturday, but because this is a short week, the discussion and the quiz are both due on Sunday. However, starting next week, we go back to our regular schedule, which is the reader responses, which are the writing assignments, are due on Sunday, and then the third week, the quiz and the discussion number 1 will be due on Saturdays. Well, the discussion will be due Thursday and Saturday. And I should mention that for the discussion, the due date is Saturday, so you have to keep in mind, like you have to remember on your own that your first post is due by Thursday. So if it helps you, I suggest writing it down on a calendar or something like that, just to really keep in mind that you are going to have to post by Thursday, your first post. Because if you don't post by Thursday, I take off a point for participation. So here we have the entire schedule, as you can see. So if you have any questions regarding the syllabus, please let me know. Now we are going to go over the course. So here we are back on our home page, and if you click on Introduction to the Course, you will find this video. Now actually I've made the syllabus video and the course navigation video into one, so when you look at this, it's only going to have one video. But I also talk about my modes of communication. So like I mentioned, the best way to contact me is through email and also through Canvas inbox, and usually it takes me about 24 to 48 hours to reply to you. If I don't reply within that time period, then chances are I did not receive your email. Also, every Monday I post announcements, so it's very important that you check announcements because I provide an overview of the week every Monday, and I also post any updates, and it's under announcements that I will go ahead and let you know about extra credit options or anything like that. And let me show you the first announcement that I posted. This is what it looks like. So as you can see, I kind of give you a background about the class, and then here I tell you what you should do for this week. And I link everything. So this is basically what they look like. I think that checking announcements is very important because this is the way that I mostly communicate with you on a weekly basis. So, you know, make sure you check them every Monday. Or Tuesday or whenever you can, but make sure you check them every single week. Don't wait till the end of the week though, you know, like I post them on Monday, so I would say maybe check them either Monday or Tuesday. So going back to the introduction to the course page, I also mentioned the student learning outcomes. I tell you how long it takes me to grade an assignment. Now please keep in mind that I am an English teacher, so that means that most of my grading is writing, and I do read everything that my students write. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than 5 to 10 days. Sometimes I do fall behind, but if I do fall behind, I'll let you know under announcements. So I will let you know, hey, I still haven't graded the profiles, I'm working on that. Please be patient. That way you don't freak out and you think like, oh my gosh, it's been 10 days and she hasn't graded my profile, you know, did something go wrong? No, I will let you know that I'm just running a little bit behind. And I do provide feedback for every assignment except for the quizzes, so make sure that you read that feedback. Sometimes, well, actually for all the writing exercises, which are the reader responses and the discussion posts, and the major assignments, like the profile, editorial, and research paper, I use a rubric, and I also use I also leave a submission comment, and I also leave comments on the assignment itself. So it can be a little bit tricky to check all of those three. So I have a handout right here that explains how to do that, and then I also have a video that talks about submitting an assignment. And then over here, this video tells you how the Turnitin software works. Basically, you submit an assignment and then it tells you what percentage of it is plagiarized. Now, if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4%, it's fine. But if it's like 50% or 60%, then you should fix it. And I don't use the Turnitin software as a means to like catch you plagiarizing. I use it so that you can see if there's any plagiarism before you turn it in. That way you can go ahead and fix it. Because a lot of times like students don't find out that they plagiarized until after they submit it. And sometimes it genuinely is a mistake. So I really hope that you know that you can use this to your advantage. And if you notice that there's anything that you didn't intend to plagiarize, then you could just go ahead and fix it. As far as the essays, all of the essays should be double spaced, and we use the APA Style 6th edition, either Times New Roman 12 point or Calibri 11 point. Here you can go ahead and click for more details about the extra credit, and here is also where you'll find the summary of tutoring session form. And because we are all on Canvas, in case you have any questions, I do have a link for the frequently asked questions, and I also have the information for Canvas support in case you need any help. And right now, I believe they are only doing online training for Canvas, so you can go ahead and sign up if you feel that you need more help figuring out Canvas. And like I mentioned before, when it comes to online classes, there is a certain netiquette or guidelines to follow, and basically what that means is that you want to avoid, for example, you want to avoid caps because it implies shouting. You also want to make sure that you use academic English so that we can all understand what you are saying. Be respectful of others' opinions. Avoid harsh criticism or bad mouthing. So, you know, just basic things that you want to be aware of. And I also have the Netiquette Guide for Online Courses, which goes into a little bit more detail. So, moving on, I wanted to show you the discussions just because, actually no, let me show you the modules first. So the modules are designed or organized according to week, so I think that's the best way to navigate the course. If you go by week, you have all the reading materials linked for each week. Now please keep in mind that sometimes links stop working, sometimes there are glitches with Canvas, so if you notice any errors, please let me know as soon as possible, that way I can go ahead and fix them. So if we go back to our course introduction module, I have a little bit of information on the reader responses, the program student learning outcomes, and I also talk about how to download Office 365. In case you don't have Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint, you can go ahead and download Office 365 because it's free. Since you're an NMSU DACC student, you get it for free. And let me tell you that you can use this on multiple computers. I purchased a laptop maybe like a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was going to buy Microsoft Word, but then I realized how expensive it was, so I just downloaded this to my laptop. And then this summer, I bought a Mac and I downloaded it again, and it works. So I'm able to use Office 365 on my PC laptop and also on my Mac laptop. So feel free to download it on multiple laptops and definitely take advantage of that. Next, I do show you how to set notifications on Canvas. You want to make sure that you have notifications for important things like submission comments, announcements, things like that. So I show you how to do it, and then I also suggest that you download the Canvas app on your phone. That way you can have it there, and you can also get notifications on your phone. So whenever I post an announcement, it'll notify you on your phone. So please make sure that you set up your notifications. Here we have the Netiquette Guide for Online Courses again, and then because we are using Zoom, we have a Zoom Code of Conduct, which basically talks about how to prepare and how to participate. You know, you want to make sure you're dressed appropriately, that we can see your face, you know, things like that that are important for safety reasons. And then we also have some instructions for Zoom in case you are new to Zoom. This shows you how to use it through Canvas. And if you look over here, all you have to do is click here. We also have a link to the ARC Tutoring Center, and we have a link to Office 365. So basically, if you want to attend online tutoring for writing, you can go ahead and click here and email the tutor coordinator, or you can go ahead and let me know, and I can contact her for you. And then here we have a guide to Zoom, which basically answers some questions that students might have. So let's go back to the modules. And like I said, the best way to navigate the course is to go by week. And as you can see, that's how I have it organized. Now, whenever we reach the end, I also have some other modules like the APA and Research Tools module, Writing Tools, and I also have a module on pandemic information and resources. So now we can go ahead and look at the discussions. So, like I said, most discussions are going to be due on Saturday, except for the one that we have this week. That one is due on August 23rd, this Sunday. But I also have this general help and questions forum. Now this is designed so that you can go ahead and ask questions about the class, about a reading, about a workshop. Basically, you can ask any question here that you think other people might also have. So if you're wondering what a specific word means, or you're wondering what the title of the book is, or you're looking for help on some resources, you can go ahead and post it here. Now, if you do have a specific individual question, then please don't post it here, because like anything having to do with your grade or anything personal, that's private, so you don't want to post it here. This is something that everybody can see, so you want to make sure that you only post general questions. This is open the entire semester. Those do not close. The discussions that are for a grade, those are the ones that close. So for example, our first introduction closes on August 23rd. So to reply, all you have to do is click on reply, and then you just have to go ahead and type your response. Obviously, it'll be longer than this because you should answer all of these questions. So this is your first post. For other discussions, this is the first post that would be due by Thursday. And then you have until Saturday to reply to 2 classmates. So like, let's pretend I'm replying to a classmate. All I have to do is go below their post, and then I can go ahead and say hi. Of course, like I said, you want to go ahead and have a well-developed response as well. So this is essentially what it'll look like. Now, right now, this is just an example, but once everybody starts posting, you will be able to see everybody's post. So please keep that in mind to not post anything inappropriate or anything like that. So going back to the home page, this concludes our introduction to the course and syllabus video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know that the video is a little bit long, but I did want to go over some important information with you. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. I will be happy to answer them, and I look forward to working with all of you this semester.